Hey, we're going to talk about my CKD class, my labs that came in, also some things I learned about kidney transplants. So stay tuned for that.
I'm finally facing it all,
All right, so first off, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for all of their support and their prayers. Just everything that you guys done so far. It's outstanding, and it's overwhelming to see how many people have come out in support of me and my family. We greatly appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. What can I say about the CKD class, the chronic kidney disease class? It was outstanding. We learned so much from there. I highly suggest it to anybody in any stage of chronic kidney disease, or anybody that knows anybody in chronic kidney disease. They should go to this class. The first thing we learned was like the pathophysiology behind it, what makes chronic kidney disease happen, how, the different ways it comes about. Then we learned about diet, how to slow down your chronic kidney disease by lowering your sodium, lowering your potassium, lowering your phosphorus, lowering your protein, which means like pretty much if you're on kidney disease, all you can eat is thinly sliced bark, like really not the fine kind of bark, the kind of thin bark, not too thick, and water. That's pretty much all you can have is bark and water. So if you have CKD, look forward to that. And the third thing we went over was different dialysis options. So like there's hemodialysis, there's peritoneal dialysis, there's at-home hemodialysis and in-center hemodialysis. There's the different ways you can get it, which is through a fistula or through a port. And then there's the peritoneal dialysis, which is done in the stomach, and you can do that at home. And there's two different ways of doing that. And then the fourth thing that we learned was about insurance and what does life look like with dialysis on insurance. And so that was the best part for me. That was the most amazing part. That was the most relieving portion of the class. The dialysis, I kind of knew that was coming up and that's going to happen, but my biggest concern was, how am I going to pay for this? How is this going to affect my family? Is keeping me alive going to bankrupt my family? And that was a huge burden on me. And hearing about that there are options out there, that you won't have to sell everything you own and live in a box to survive from dialysis, was just a huge relief. So I would definitely suggest going to the class, and hopefully here soon I'm going to be interviewing the Medicare specialist and interviewing the dietitian, and maybe just doing like a quick 10-minute video on what that looks like and how that is. So stay tuned for that, and I'll put that out when I can get to it. So I spoke with my doctor yesterday. Well, not my doctor. I spoke with my doctor's assistant, and she told me what my lab values were. However, those were my lab values from a month ago that my doctor is just now seeing, and they wouldn't give to me until he saw. And they only gave me a couple numbers. So I asked, what was my GFR? They told me that my GFR was at 23, and they said that it got slightly better. I don't know what that means. I don't know. They didn't tell me what my GFR was before this, so I'm assuming that it was in the 20s or below 20, and it got up to 23. So I don't know what that means. And I really do need I need to go to them and ask for all the lab work, which I know I can do. I know I can go to my doctor and get everything printed off, or find a way to log on to their system, which I haven't figured out yet. And then they told me that my creatinine was 404. So I'm pretty sure they mean 4.04, which normal creatinine, as I understand it, is between 1 and 5. So I'm on the higher end of creatinine, but it's not super dangerous, but it's still high, and that's not good. And they normally want you to start dialysis when your GFR, your glycomolecular filtration rate, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, is at 15 or 10 or below that. That's when they want you on dialysis. So I'm pretty close. I'm 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 close. I don't know how close. What does that mean? Can I stay, those 5 to 8 points away from it permanently or for a long while? Could I keep this at this stage for years, or which I believe my doctor also believes more likely is not going to be that long. So those are the numbers that I know of, and that's all that she would tell me. I asked her, well, what was my potassium at? What was my phosphorus at? And she was like, I don't know. You can talk to the doctor. And then she hung up. So I really need to just go into the office and have a detailed discussion, because these past couple weeks I've learned so much from where I was before, especially from that class. That class taught me a lot. And again, if I can emphasize it one more time, you need to take that class. The other thing I wanted to talk about was kidney transplant. Well, what I learned is that there's two types of kidney transplants. You got the living donor, and then you got the deceased donor. A deceased donor, the longevity typically doesn't last as long as the living donor does. Living donors last twice as long, and they provide you with that kidney, and you're most likely able to get it sooner than you would a deceased donor. But here's the thing. I have type 1 diabetes and I have chronic kidney disease. So my best option would be a pancreas and kidney transplant, but that would have to be from a deceased donor. And the way that it works now, as I understand it, as of right now, as I understand it, you have to be on dialysis. That's when your waiting time. It's not when you go through the whole process or when you started the process. It's when you started the process, and then how long have you been on dialysis? So they're going to treat those people who have been on dialysis longer first before they get to you. So there's pros and cons to that. The pros are I wouldn't have diabetes anymore, so the longevity of my kidneys would last longer. Or my kidneys would last longer, not the longevity of it. My kidneys would last longer because I have a new pancreas, and I wouldn't have diabetes anymore, essentially. And then I would only be on immunosuppressants for the rest of my life. We'll be on a careful balance of immunosuppressants for the rest of my life instead of dealing with diabetes and immunosuppressants. But that also means that I'll be on dialysis probably a lot longer. And the longer you're on dialysis, the more difficult it is on your body. So there's the cons. With the other one, if I go for a living donor, I would probably either not be on dialysis or be on dialysis for a short amount of time, but I would still have diabetes. And having a living donor, I would have a kidney for a lot longer. But with diabetes and how diabetes is, and it fluctuates in glucose and insulin, and I mean, you're never going to be 100% perfect as if your pancreas was doing it for you. So there will be eventually damages again to my kidney, which may reduce how long I have it. But I mean, if I do really good at it, and if I control my diabetes as I have been, and keep my A1C down and keep my numbers down, on top of also staying with the strict control of immunosuppressants, then I could be okay for 40 years, 20, 40 years. So there's the cons there, is that I would still have diabetes, and there could be a possibility of me losing my kidney again. But I mean, there's the same possibility with the other one as well, but you just have a more likelihood of keeping your kidney if your pancreas is along with it. the numbers are better overall. So I have a lot of thinking to do. I have a lot of weighing to do. I have a lot of praying to do. I have a lot of talking to do. So those are the big things that me and my family are trying to figure out right now. So we would still appreciate lots of prayers, lots of love and thoughts headed our way. And if anyone has any more information out there, we are open and ready to hear it. And let me know if you guys have questions that if I can't answer them right now, that means I probably should know them and I should be answering them. So please leave a comment or share this and let me know. So yeah, I guess I'll close this out, which I really don't know how to do. Should I give a thumbs up? Maybe a thumbs up. Yeah, or a peace sign. Goodbye. Maybe we'll do the whole classic hand thing. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please hit that notification bell so that you hear whenever I put out a new video. It'll notify you and let you know that, hey, Steven put out a video, you should go check it out. So please do that and share and let people know that we're out here trying to do stuff. So yeah, goodbye.